Hi, so this is part three. I got a bit cut off. Someone called me during my phone, and during my video, and the vibe it started vibrating, and I was like, oh my god, I got on the phone with them, and I was like, man, you just effed up my video, man. I guess it's not your fault, but oh man. So where I was in the last video, this whole series is being talking about the Saturn Pluto conjunction in Capricorn, talking about the Jupiter Pluto conjunction, Saturn Jupiter conjunction, the great conjunction, and then how it's going to switch into air signs, all in air signs in 2020. Saturn, and Jupiter will go into Aquarius, and then 2023 Pluto will go into Aquarius. And I was talking about how this, signified lots of transformations and technological innovations, and kind of us connecting as humanity, and taking our individual gifts and giving it to the world. I also wanted to add that Jupiter represented education, and Jupiter Pluto conjunction probably signifies Jupiter Pluto in Capricorn is just a complete reform of education and eliminating all the elements that weren't working, right? To kind of create a more powerful impact within the educational community, but also moving forward, when it shifts into Aquarius, that will probably involve out of the box practices within education and in society. So I could maybe see more, the kind of bringing together of spirituality and science, right? We're seeing more in society, people accepting things like metaphysics, right? Maybe having astrology taught in schools, meditation's already taught in some schools, things like yoga, some of these ancient practices like, Ayurveda, maybe shamanic practices, these things being brought more into the mainstream, and not just seeing as, separating that from science, but kind of weaving them together and seeing they kind of all work together, that if we can use, metaphysics and science together, that we could advance to whole new levels. So that's something that I can see. I think, I think this, it's challenging for a lot of people. It's challenging for me. It's challenging for the planet. There's a lot of intensity, but humans have been able to evolve over centuries, and have incredible willpower, incredible abilities to solve situations. We don't use a lot of our brains capacity. We don't use a lot of our powers, and I think this, it's in times of challenge and crisis and stress that basically, some people, it crushes people, and we can reverse that and help each other get out of that place, but also, it pushes and motivates us to growth and to transcend what we thought was possible, to achieve and to really bring out the best in the human spirit. And a lot of our earth is just very divided, and Aquarius energy kind of has us, be our own individuals, but also be a part of the group, that we kind of accepting differences, that we, whether that's gender, or it's, race, or it's religion, or it's class, or it's, you're a rocker and I'm a raver, or whatever. This whole universe is just full of, it's just duality, it's just differences, but we share the experience of being alive and wanting to be happy and not wanting to suffer and things like that. So it really involves kind of working on ourselves right? You know, seeing who we are, understanding ourselves, not projecting all our problems onto the world and going to war with each other because we can't accept that we are different, but finding that, you know, that kind of harmony within ourselves and seeing that everybody, you know, everybody's, you know, everything's here for a reason. We're all here for a reason. Everybody was created and everything was created in a unique expression. It was for a reason. And we, you know, we're all flatmates basically on this giant planet called Earth. And, you know, we can destroy that thing if we want, or we could celebrate it and make it beautiful and amazing. And, you know, we could all help each other out. We're not, there's enough for everybody. And that's kind of signified by Aquarius too, is, you know, kind of joining as humanity and being humanitarians with each other and, you know, sharing and giving and, you know, trying to improve things and for the whole. And that, you know, involves thinking outside the box because like Einstein said, you can't get a different result, or something like he said, you can't get the same result by the same level of thinking. Or no, you can't, sorry. You can't get a different result, you know, using the same kind of thinking. So there needs to be a reform of thinking outside the box. And that's scary because that's the unknown, you know. You have to let go of some ideas and, you know, trust that it will be okay, that you'll survive it and you'll find other ways. Yes, it may feel uncomfortable, you know, to let go of what you've known. But ultimately, you know, if it hasn't been working, then it hasn't been working. And there needs to be other approaches. There needs to be adjustments and adapting. So, you know, these are all things that I'm kind of sensing, you know, will be to come. We're all in the, we're deep in Capricorn right now. Like I said, Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, and we have to, you know, all these planets, Saturn, Jupiter retrograded, you know, Saturn retrograded back into Earth sign, Capricorn, and, you know, now we've got 3 planets in Capricorn, and Capricorn really, you know, makes you look at tradition. It makes you look at systems and work within that system. So you kind of have to build the system up from a good, you know, from a good foundation, and then, you know, once you see this thing built up or it's built, then go with the Aquarius energy. Okay, what can we switch? What do we need to change? Do we need to innovate? Right? But the shadow side is, you know, with Capricorn, is it can be very much based on hierarchy, class. You know, I'm at the top and you're down there, right? Like I'm not gonna stop to get what I want, right? That capitalism, right? And I don't care who I screw over in the process. That can be the negative side of Capricorn, you know, feeling like you're out for yourself, all those things. So like I said, that's like a 200 year cycle of going through these planets in the Earth sign that's going to come to an end, right? And, you know, this Earth, like I said, it's Earth sign. What's Earth to do with money? It's to do with resources. It's to do with, you know, work. It's to do with the Earth. And often we've seen the negative side of that, you know, taking advantage of the Earth, exploiting the Earth, exploiting each other. Negative Capricorn also be using other people like puzzle pieces, you know, all these things. And Aquarius has the potential to make us see beyond that, you know, it's in the thought, right? We detach ourselves, we look down, imagine like a UFO looking at Earth and being like, oh my God, they are crazy down there, look at that. Be like, oh, so, you know, having that type of detachment and perspective will help people in humanity be able to come up with new ideas and see what's not going well and see what can best fit the whole. So it's a complete, it's a shift. We'll start using our brains more. We'll start using our genius more. We'll start, realizing who we are as individuals, not by what society expects us to be or wants us to be. We'll be like, what's true for me, right? And then sharing that with others and finding others who align with those ideas. So these are kind of some of the predictions that I can see, and it's not so crazy, to be honest. I mean, you learn astrology, there's 12 signs, there's so many planets, and there's so many houses, and you kind of put them all together, like Stephen Force says, they're like the vocabulary in a language, and then you start making sentences together, and you put Jupiter together, you put Pluto and Jupiter together in Aquarius, and it's just like 2 + 2 = 4. Use your own intuition. So that's kind of like the marriage between the science and the spirituality. I use my intuition, but I also use kind of practical knowledge and put it all together, and it just you just see over and over again how these things play out. That's the knowledge, through experience, saying, wow, that actually played out, like, wow. And I know that when this whole epidemic thing happened, and crisis and all that, like, I saw the astrology in January, and I literally, I've been studying astrology for a while, but it just seems so crazy, the predictions of most likely what could happen, as we're always in control of our destiny, but it's just the collective where things were going. It looked like that was going to happen. I knew something was going to happen, and huge, but at the same time, it just seemed too unreal, too surreal, almost like it was science fiction or something, and I just really doubted it. And my, let's say my doubts, if I had any doubts, because doubts are always something that's in the back of your mind, they kind of, they lifted quite a bit, and almost completely just vanished when all this started happening. It was just the most powerful astrological experience I ever had in my whole life, and it was like, whoa, oh my God, this is happening. This is the real deal. This is no joke. So when I kind of see this other stuff, I have more faith, and yeah, the planets are powerful things, and you can read them just like the stocks or something, and make predictions and figure out where energy, it's basically where energy is going in the present, and how's it going to end up in a future present moment. Time and space, they're kind of illusions. So there's really just now. So you're reading the energy now, and what happens in now is moving so fast. The now is, there's so much, change happening, and now it looks like time's continuing, but really you're just kind of looking at the energy now, and where that now energy is going to be in the moment we can consider the future, how that will manifest. But a lot of it's based on us, and a lot of it's based on the momentum, of the collective. So just wanted to share some of those insights. Maybe it sounded like I went on a rant, but that's just kind of how I express this knowledge and information. Really hope that it helped you. If you have any questions or comments or anything, please message me. I've got all the information in the description below the video, how to contact me. And yes, I hope that you just have a great time and hang in there. It's going to be okay. We all have a lot more strength and power than we could imagine. Okay, so like, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you another video. Bye.